Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
And welcome, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And tonight we're going back to Indiegogo, but not for comics. We got something a little bit different coming out here tonight. It's very related. Trust me, if you're a comics fan, then you are probably also an animation fan. Because, let's face it, what is, an animated cartoon except a comic book with lots and lots of pictures that you read really, really, really fast. So it's almost the same thing. So with us tonight, we've got Sean Fry with us from Biff Bam Boom Comics, whom we've had before. Sean, how are you tonight, man?
Good.
and you are bringing to the stage with you your buddy One Gun here. One Gun, how are you doing tonight, man? Other than being muted.
I'm doing pretty good, man. I put my best avatar out for everybody. So there you go.
There you go. Hey, you know what? Sometimes I like to just kind of go like this, and if I gotta pick my nose or scratch my butt or something, I
gotta get a new camera. So
yeah, well, I do too, but that's way down my list of not a necessity, a nicety.
Nice background picture right there. The lady with the guns in her hand. That's pretty cool.
Oh, well, that's your picture.
Oh, it is. Oh, I didn't. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
it is my handiwork. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Now the logo is different because the picture of the logo I had, the words got cut off. I'm like, well, shoot, I'll just have to recreate it as best I can from the nearest available font.
Yeah.
So,
little Fry, you should have told me you was having issues, man. We got him something new.
I was grabbing what I could as fast as I can.
All right, man.
The font that I use is one called Aliens. So
that's close. That's close. Space
came very close.
Yeah, it's actually it's called Space Marines or something like that. That's like the type of font that I use for that. But who cares? It's done.
It got the message across that we're talking about the Archive of Infinity.
Yes. The Archive of Infinity. Yes.
So first of all, how are you two guys connected here? Because I know Sean's doing the comic thing with his dad. Where do you come into the picture, One Gun?
I came in the picture back in 2009, around 2010, when me and his dad was actually working on comics. We were taking 3D and taking 3D avatars, and we were actually painting over them and stuff, and inking them and drawing them and stuff, and making comics, And I met his dad through another friend, and it's a funny story how it all got kicked off because his dad invited me over to the school because his dad's a teacher. And we went to this little room, and he trapped me in it, and then started going down this whole list of all of his characters. I mean, this dude had like thousands of characters. Let me out! No, I got audience characters. So after that, we got kind of cool. I figured out he wasn't insane. He just got a huge passion for doing comic books. So after that, we started doing a lot of things. And it's kind of strange because I was doing comic books. I was doing comic books for a long time, drawing, just doing sketches and stuff at Comic Cons, and I kind of veered away from that and went into 3D animation and stuff like that. But his dad still kept up with me because his dad started working in 3D sculpting, and I guess over time I got better with the 3D stuff, and I started making short animations and stuff, and then I knew about a year or so ago. I'm going to speed this up. No need to about all the other boring stuff. I'm going to speed
we got
it
an hour.
up. All right, so about what was it like a year ago? His dad came to me and asked me, could I draw the Youth Mob comic book? And I was like, I was like, dude, I'm like, man, I can't draw like I used to, you know. I said, so he said, all right. So he decided he was going to Youth Mob comic book. So then about like 6 months ago, his dad came back. It's like, could you do a Youth Mob cartoon? And I was like, yeah, I can definitely do it.
You did the cartoon that was the trailer we saw when we had Sean on for Youth Mob.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
I'll tell you what, some of the 3D modeling that's coming out today, I mean, you know, some of it's like, you know, cool video game kind of stuff. You can tell, yeah, that's really good animation. Some of it is scary AF because it's like, that looks like a human being in that picture.
Yeah, the newer stuff, the newer AI-driven programs they got out here to like actually take someone's face. You don't even need a side shot no more. You just take the person's face, cut it out, put it in the AI. The AI will take it, stretch it out, and actually make a copy of that person's face. Now the AI is not perfect because you can tell if it's like AI-driven or it's an AI because of the lips where the corner of the lips are. And some other tall tale signs, you know, teeth and stuff like that. But what they did in the Mandalorian, last episode of Mandalorian with Luke Skywalker was amazing. You know, that was all AI driven, projected onto somebody else's body, and it was amazing. You know, it actually helped Disney. It helped the franchise. I mean, I think they helped the franchise. But enough about the technical stuff. Let's talk about Archive Infinity.
Archive Infinity. Okay, man. Well, let's talk about that. So what is the and I hear an echo in my voice every time I say Archive of Infinity
and beyond.
And yeah, well, absolutely. And I got my delay fixed. Yes, everything I move now is in sync. I had my green screen on, and I don't have my green screen up. So yeah, I saw some speckles in my back, and I'm like, what? Oh, I know what that is.
I thought you were warping.
Yeah, it was weird. Well, the other day I decided to have some fun. I put on my green T-shirt and I put up my Starfield background, so I looked like Starboy from the Legion of Superheroes. It was. I forgot to turn it off.
Like do a what's that? Marvel, like Captain Marvel back in the day when he had all the stars and stuff inside of his little back when Captain Marvel was cool to read, you know.
I could get like a green ski mask and do it, and it'd just be eternity.
Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, man, we going back way back with comic books, man. Back when you could actually read them, and they were like $1.50, $1.25 back then,
and they were fun, and it took a while. It took a while to read a book. It's like nowadays it takes me 5 minutes to read a book and 6 months to read a story.
Damn, I'm glad I stopped reading comic books a long time ago.
Well, you're making comic book like stories now with the Archive of Infinity. What is the Archive of Infinity?
The Archive of Infinity was originally a contest entry that I entered in 2015 to this company called Real Illusion. They was running a contest using their software to make a movie. Think about this. I just got the software and I was still in school. So I went ahead and came up with a concept of a female mercenary type character who run around kicking butt, infiltrating bases, getting information, and all type of cool stuff. You know, you can say she's a mix between sort of kind of like Lara Croft and Boba Fett, something like that. You know, just a straight up mercenary. And I was like, there ain't been nothing like that. You know, so I made the cartoon. It was 10 minutes long. And it won. It won the contest, and I was shocked it won. You know, I spent 4 weeks on the animation, and I had to stop at the end because my dad got sick, and I had to stop. And then I had like 3 days before the final submission came around, and I went back home, and I came back home, and I finished it up, and it wasn't complete, but I still won the contest. It wasn't complete, and I told people and everybody it's not complete because there's a lot of stuff that got hacked and left on the floor, and I never went back to. So, and one of the biggest things, the character didn't talk. I didn't get a chance to actually get the script or anything to the actress. So what happened in 2017, 2015, jump to 2017. I told everybody I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish it. I said I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I'm gonna do it. So I started in 2017 redoing scenes, adding new characters and all type of stuff. And it's 2017 now. It's 2021 going into 2022, and I have like I say somewhere like 70, 60, 70% of the film done, and it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster, ups, downs, stops, stalls, procrastination, and all type of things. If you want to name it, I've been through it trying to make this animation. It wasn't until I met up with with Little Fry and his dad came to me and asked me to do the Youth Bob animation, where they came in and decided he was going to help me finally launch Archive Infinity. I was originally supposed to launch Archive Infinity in 2018, but things happened, and it kind of put me off. And I just one of those times in your life, you got to do something else, and it takes you away from your passion. And I came back to it, and I started working on it, and I started adding new stuff to it. I've been since last summer, I've added well over another 15 minutes to the movie. I've hired actors to come in and act for some of the roles. And let me tell y'all, I'm doing this all at home on my little desktop computer.
Oh wow!
All of it.
So even the voice recording for the studio.
What I do is I hire some actors. They do the voice recordings. They send it to me, and I sync it up with the animation.
I got you. Yeah. So this is a huge effort. I mean, you're a one-man production company so far in this. How big of a movie is this? I mean, is this like a short film or?
It's a short. I mean, it's a short film. I intentionally made it for 3 episodes, 90 minutes. I was going to like cut it up. Like the original plan was to like make a 90-minute film and cut it up in like 15-minute things so I can have something that can last a month or whatever on YouTube. But everybody's like, hey, why? I say, hey, like, hey, we want the full movie. We want the full movie, So so what happened is that I based off the 15 minutes I've done, I had enough to actually do the first episode and cut it up to a second episode if I went the 15-minute route. But I said, instead of doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and release like a 90-minute movie, which will, give everybody what they want and then some,
That's not a short, man. That's feature length.
Yeah, it's just about feature length. Yeah, you're correct. So I got like an hour production in it. And like I said, I've been working on this since 2017. By myself. I've had some people come in and help me write, and I'm definitely going to honor them by actually putting their names in it and everything. And I've had countless actresses come in and for the voice. I finally found a really good actress for the voice, and I've got another female actress who's a singer, and she's coming in and she's doing the voice for another character. And a lot of other people that I got in here to do voice acting is one of them is Sean's dad. Sean's dad is doing the voice for the main bad guy, and he enjoyed it. I got some clips of him in here. I'm not going to show you the ones where his dad goes like starts.
Is he going to trap her in a room and then show her all his comic characters that he's made?
Yeah, I was going to put that in there. I thought it would be hilarious. It's like, what you going to do to me? I'm going to show you all my comic book characters I've created in my whole life. I think I said that'll be hilarious. Because now Sean know the fear I had. When I was in there. But like I said, once I understood where his dad was coming from, like, oh, this guy just really passionate about comics, especially ones from the 20s and the 40s, in the 30s. He loves comics, and it shows in his passion. So, I don't know. Did you ever get any clips?
I didn't. If I had, I would have uploaded them.
Oh,
I've been ready to play here, but if you want to share them,
I can share my screen with you with some of the stuff that I've done over the past little while here. So I'm gonna hit the share button. I think that's how this works.
Don't forget to click that little sound button in the right lower left corner.
Sound button?
Yeah, it says when it says share sound.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So hit share screen.
Yep.
And
And there should be a little checkbox there to the bottom left that says
Share audio.
share sound. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, share audio. So something. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Okay, so let's click on this right here and then hit share. And I don't need to. Okay, so here's where I keep a majority of my films and stuff that I've done. And a lot of stuff like let me see. This is 45. This is a minute. Okay, let's try this one right here.
Yeah.
Let's try this one. This scene, a lot, like I said, this is a lot of promo stuff. A lot of it's like blocked in animation and finished animation, blocked in animation mixed in with some finished animation, and it's basically stuff that I'm going to go back and actually tighten up. But here's one scene that they're running down this corridor, and he's like, "Dang it, they changed the code." So like, "Can you hack it?" It's like, "Sure, give me a minute." And then while they're talking, these guys run out behind, like, "Oh," and she turns around. And he's like, "Wait a minute, I know you. You're the one from the video camera. You took out a couple of our people, and you know what? I don't think that was cool." And he's like, "Put away your weapon. We're gonna like handle this the old-fashioned way." So he put away the weapon. So the old-fashioned way is,
She's not gonna put hers away.
Yeah, she's like, "Okay, y'all want to do it? All right, well, we can do this. Let's have some fun while you fix the door." She's like, "Put your hands down, idiot." She starts fighting them. So I didn't finish this fight scene, but it's like I said, like this is a lot of blocked in animation I did for this scene because like I said, when I go back to it, which will probably be very soon, it'll be done and finished.
Now, what are you talking about when you say blocked in animation? For everybody watching is not an animator.
Okay, so when you block in the animation, what you're doing is you're putting in like poses, you're putting in your poses and everything, and you're going like frame. You like instead of putting like you got frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, you just go put poses on frame 1, and actually like frame 1, maybe frame 4, and you're not putting animations on like in between those frames. So what you're doing is you're just blocking in enough information so when somebody looks at the animation, it looks like it's moving, but it's moving choppy. When you go back and you add the rest of the motions or whatever you're going to do to it, then it's going to look a little bit more smoother. So like I said, it's some stuff in here. Well, I use motion capture too for a lot of it, and you're gonna probably see it, see what I mean by being choppy and everything. But
it's kind of like a rough draft.
Yeah, it's basically a rough draft to get people looking. So here's another one of her talking to the robot.
Oh, nice mist
effect. I have my hands full of getting the professor, getting the artifact, and let's not forget fighting a majority of the guards. And you get the sole duty of stealing a new ship. Does that sound like a fair deal?
Your deal? It sucks.
If you don't like it, we can trade.
Fine. I'll get us another ship. But it's gonna be your fault if I get blasted.
That's the spirit, 54.
Don't touch me.
54. Excuse me, is that a tear on your lens?
It's not a tear.
Cry, baby.
It's condensation from the fog. Now, leave me alone.
Sure.
I'm serious. You ever heard of lens condensation? Water condensation? No?
54.
Yeah, what now?
Be a sweetheart. Scan the base, please.
Pushing me around.
Yeah, so I did the voice of the robot. This female I found over there from the UK, she came in and she voiced the female, and I was like, I'm going to keep you and you're voicing the character. I got one here where I think it's just I didn't put no voices to this or anything yet. I think it's pretty short, but this is after she invades the place. She takes out all the officers and stuff, and like I say, I gotta still go back here and some of this stuff, like I said, it's done. I just gotta go back and put the tweaks on it. But one of the things is adding the voices and sounds to it and getting this to move correctly.
Now, how much does the AI contribute to this? Because I mean, there used to be like what was it, flash animation, where it was like you would do, like you said, you'd block it out and you'd say, "Hey, I'm putting something on frame 1, I'm putting something on frame 4," and then the software would say, "Okay, between frames 2 and 3, I've got to get
that's
all
called
these points to these points."
interloper. I forgot. It's interloping, or what's called. I can't pronounce it right now, but yeah, it's interpreting. What it is that you got a frame here and 1, you got 1 on 4, and then when the computer comes in, it comes in and interprets the motion between those frames. So if you're putting frames on 1, 4, 8, what's after that, 16, and then after that's 24, the computer itself will actually put in the extra frames, and then what happened is you will just go back. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but in most cases it does. And what you would do is you go back and tweak the frames that don't work or delete them. Most people animate on the 2s, the 4s, 6s. I mean, it just depends on how you want to animate. When I was going to school, I learned how to use. I did traditional 2D animation at first, all right, because they want you to learn the basic stuff,
Sure.
all right, and then it went from learning the basic stuff to actually getting into 3D. And when I got into 3D, they started me off modeling and stuff like that, and after that, I finally went into 3D animation. And that's how I went to 3D animation. And then when you get into 3D animation, you just got to understand the UI, the software you're using, how you're going to get around the whole basic software. And once you master how this software works, then you can go in and start doing what you want to do, which would be animating, rigging, texturing, doing all the stuff. And I suggest everybody, if you're going to get into 3D animation, learn that stuff. That stuff is really important, because if you just hopping into a 3D, you just want to hop into 3D and just say, I'm going to get it and make Pixar animation. Well, that's not how it works. It takes time. It takes time. I've been messing around in the world of 3D since 2006, and it all started with this program called Blender, which is free. I started with Little Fry, trying to get him into it, using Unreal Engine and stuff like that, and try to get him to start doing it, because Little Fry wants to do this too.
He sold me on it. After I started using my characters, I was like, okay, I got to do this.
Well, you heard what he said. You got to do the 2D first, man.
Yeah, he got Toon Boom Studio, which is good. When I heard he had that, I was like, well, I told his dad, I said, listen, man, he's gonna do this Toon Boom stuff, and after he gets in there, and then he's gonna really jump into doing the 3D stuff. And his dad was like, yeah, I know, I'm going to spend all my money, bought him a computer, blah blah blah. He get really grumpy, he gets really grumpy. But I'm like, but dude, listen, if he does this, I mean, I could like give him work. We'll have 2 people in the studios, and we can make anything we want. We can. I was like, just look at the stuff that I'm producing on my own. Think if we had 2 people and then had you, the illustrator and storyboard artist. We can be the next up and coming studio, man. It just takes time.
Yeah.
But
especially once you get the wireframes already done. I mean, it's not like
it's
not like his version is going to look different than your version. It's going to be the same character.
Right. Once you're like Little Fry saw me when I did all of his characters, because it took me using this software called iClone. I made all of the characters in his story. And we went one by one, week by week, and he was just amazed. And Little Fry was like, "Wow, that's my stuff," And his dad took me to the side, like, "Man, my son ain't been this happy in a long time, and I know when my son's happy."
Well, Sean, to qualify for that, you got to do 30 seconds of 2D animation. It's only 720 pictures, because that's what it is, right? One gun is 24 frames per second.
Yeah. It's many ways. I mean, I'm not saying I've learned a lot of tricks and stuff along the way. I've worked with animation studios that did stuff for movies and stuff like that, and for games for Star Wars and stuff, and I learned a lot over the years through these people, and I use that stuff wherever they're willing to teach me for free, I'm going to take it.
Absolutely, especially if they're going to pay you to learn it. If you're working for a studio,
a lot of ways that I work with a lot of studios is like they'll probably ask me to do something, and they ask me how much do I want. I was like, I just want the knowledge, just give me what I need to learn, and you can have what you want from me, and a lot of cases like that. And it seems to work because that knowledge I got is now inside me. Nobody can take it away from me.
Yeah.
And that's why I try to tell everybody, get the knowledge. Once you get the knowledge, nobody can take it from you, and you can use it any which way you want to. I think the greatest thing about doing and teaching yourself how to do animation is that you can do what you want and you have no constraints. So nobody can come in and say, I want to turn this character, I want to turn your character into a woman. I like, wait, it's a guy. No, that ain't what we want. You basically got the freedom to create worlds and show people what's in your world. And that's what I did. I had the whole concept. I had the whole concept down like a long time ago, back in 2014, about an intergalactic space mercenary who teams up with a bunch of people and they go on an adventure. I just didn't get it solidified till into that contest. And then when people started like writing me, sending me emails saying, "Whoa, I love that! It was great. Like, are you gonna do a part 2?" I think, yeah, maybe one day. So I got a letter from somebody in Australia. And they said they love my work and all this other stuff, and they show it to their classroom and stuff like that. And it was kind of heartwarming, man. It was a long letter too, man. It was a long letter. It was from Australia. I was like, wow, they took their time to actually talk to me about what I did. And I'm thinking like I'm on to the next thing. So I read it and I thought it's like maybe I should like do a follow-up. Maybe I should do a longer movie because just what I did, got those folks like over there like, wow, we really like this, kids and stuff. So I said, you know what, I think it's time for me. And in 2017 I just went ahead and started making new films and stuff. So one of the first things I did in 2017, this was the first video I made with this program called iClone. And I had actually got some actors for this. So I want to show this to you real quick so you can check this out. And there's my logo, Big Bad Afro Studios. Woohoo! Exclamation point.
This room is off limits, Smith.
Look here, Brian, is it? I got a high priority maintenance order for the server room today.
That's strange. I didn't hear anything about maintenance call today at the briefing.
Man, I tell you, those guys up in ops, they couldn't tell their asshole from their elbows. Here's my order right here. And there should be some updates on that console right there behind you.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll try to get this checked out. I really wish it would inform us when this shit changes.
Yeah, well, tell me about it. Or better yet, you can tell me about it right after your nap.
Huh? A nap? I'm not sleepy. And sorry, but I can't find your...
Okay. Fun's all over. You can decloak now.
Is this the way we're going to work this mission? Shooting people in the back.
Man, what? I didn't kill him. Just stunned him a little.
You are very careless and reckless. I don't know why Doc sent me on this mission with you.
You just refuse to recognize the beauty in my process.
Wow. You are stupid. This little stunt you just pulled could have set off an alarm.
Yeah, whatever. Just get this door open. You Radio Shack reject.
You don't give me orders.
I'm glad they remember Radio Shack in the future.
And he put me in charge.
Yeah, so
that was my first job.
Radio Shack. Radio Shack is everybody's first job. Well, yeah, that's why I like to give a shout out to Joe Hart, Hashan, and myself for doing Droid 54. to bring this all together. It wasn't for those other two guys, I don't think I was able to bring it together. So that was my first test to see if people would like it, if I actually bought it back, and everybody loved it. They loved it, and so I just kept on making scenes for the animation, and getting better as time went by.
Yeah, you can do anything in it. I mean, yeah, there's budget involved because there's time and there's software and there's people, but do you know who Lou Scheimer is?
Please tell me.
You've seen He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, She-Ra.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he was the guy behind Filmation that did all those things.
Oh, okay. Oh, Schumacher.
No,
Yeah.
Scheimer. Lou Scheimer.
Yeah, okay. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear you say the first part. Okay, yeah.
I interviewed him like years ago, back before he passed away. He's gone now.
Yeah.
But he Filmation did the animated Star Trek series right after the original series went off the air.
Woo,
And he was talking about, Gene Roddenberry was it was basically their 5th year of Star Trek, and they could do anything. The monsters could look like real aliens. Because it's animation. There's no limits.
Yeah, and I think I saw the thing about Filmation on how they did a lot of the He-Man stuff and a lot of the other stuff, and a lot of it was like a rotoscoping. I mean, it was rotoscoping but it worked, and just because you're doing rotoscoping doesn't mean you're not doing animation. That's a part of animation, and that's one of the things you learn when you go to school is rotoscoping, and stuff like that. And what I do on my channel sometimes, I tell people, animation is a straightforward process, but it's also other things you have to add on top of the animation to make it presentable and look finished. What you want is something finished to show people.
Max Fleischer invented the rotoscoping thing when he was doing the but when he did the Superman cartoons,
right?
And man, it's 100 years now almost, and still nothing touches that stuff.
Yeah. It's because you had innovators back then. It started with the guy who created Little Nemo and
Winsor McKay.
Started with him and this movie about the mosquito. And if you look at that old stuff, it's like wow.
not only did Winsor McKay basically there were people who were animating as look, the square gets bigger, it gets smaller, it gets wobbly. He was the first one to do a story with it, like the mosquito and Gertie the dinosaur.
Gert, good old Gert.
But he had to invent the projector to show the stuff.
Yeah, that all this has to be made. It's like like everything he did, it was all like theory. He's like, okay, so what if he kind of understood how frames and if you take one picture and then you take another picture, but there's a variation in one of those pictures, and you overlap those pictures, you got motion, and then he's like, so what if I did this? I do believe I think he was the one who did the clown, where he actually rotoscoped his brother. No, that was
the Fleischers.
Yeah, that was they
did Coco the Clown.
Flashers, that's right. It wasn't Filmation, it was the Flashers, and they did some interesting stuff because they were the ones doing that stuff first. So when you look at those old Superman Fleischer films, you say, wow, how did it get that motion? Well, they rotoscoped a lot of it, and the stuff that didn't need rotoscoping, they just hand did it, and that's how they made the stuff back then, man. And they did it by themselves, and the sad thing about it, I think I saw a movie on YouTube. It's on YouTube about the Fleischer films and what happened to them, and it's kind of sad what happened at the end, but they were actually in line to take down Disney.
They were
going to take down Disney, and I think Disney had a hand in the demise,
And that's the other thing about animation and innovation is when somebody innovates something, you can always tell that's the moment that it's good. When the Fleischers were innovating with rotoscope, those scenes of Superman taking off and flying, even when they smooth, just smooth like anything. Pixar comes out and they innovate with the 3D animation. Those first Toy Story movies, it's like wow. And then you can always tell, like within 10 years of the introduction of the innovation, come the cost-cutting corners. And that's what's like, hey, this isn't as good as it used to be.
I was just talking to my friend, and they were actually, I was sitting with my friend. He was talking about how India is like people are like cutting corners by sending animations over there to India to get them done for dirt cheap, you know. And he told me my friend I haven't talked to him in like a couple months, but he's the one who works at this company called Line Forge down here, and he's the one who won an Oscar for producing the Hair Love video. They won an Oscar.
Yeah.
You know, that's my friend Carl. I grew up with him and his brother, and they went out and they formed Line Forge Studios and stuff. And he was just telling me, you know, he just tells me like how stuff gets done, you know.
That was a cool video too.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good.
Dad trying to figure out how to do little girl's hair.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It was a good movie, and he just told me it's like you know how it was done and all that stuff, and I learned so much just listening to him because it's like I'm doing animation too on my side, but my stuff is more indie than what they're doing, and he just telling me like how it is over here, and he said the industry is basically almost gone. You know, it's almost gone. You know, anime, kids and everyone is turning to more anime now. A lot of the smaller companies, and I mean, back like in the 60s and 70s, you had a bunch of small animation studios that would do animation and stuff like that, and now you don't have them. You know, Disney, I would say companies like Disney and I wouldn't say I can't say Warner Brothers, but Disney or and a couple other companies have basically just said, you know, to hell with 2D animators, you know, let's fire them all and just do 3D. And it was sad. It was sad.
Well, let me ask you this, because you're in that area. You know, you talk to the right people and you're aware of the industry. In the comic book industry right now, there's a lot of the discussion that's going on about how manga is just taking away the lunch money of the American comic book industry.
It is.
You've got one issue of a manga that outsells the entire run of DC and Marvel comics put together.
It's because the comic book industry had this one way of doing things, and it was a bridge held up by toothpicks. And what happened is the toothpicks broke, and so the comic book industry over here broke. That's what it was. I mean, the comic book industry over here. And this goes back to the crash. You know, we had a big crash in like 99, 2000 with them continuously printing #1 books.
Yep.
And the books wouldn't sell, and the retailers weren't making money. Matter of fact, some retailers were going out of business because of the bad business model. You know, Advanced Comics was gone. Marvel bought Advanced Comics and then tanked that. And that only left Diamond, and Diamond became the official mafioso of the comic book world.
Well, they're losing that now, thankfully.
Yeah.
There are other distributors out there like us. We're distributing crowdfunded books.
The only thing that saves the little guys like us are a lot of the cost of printing has went down. You know, so anybody can print a book now. There's no reason for you to sit at home and wait for Marvel or DC to call you no longer. You go out, you do Indiegogo, get your books printed, give them to your supporters. You know,
and that's what Sean's doing.
That's exactly what Sean should be doing. You know, and it works. It works. I mean, it really works. And I kind of figured that the comic book industry is broken, and it's broken because of neglect. You know, and I kind of knew that when you can't go to the comic book store and get your favorite comic, you're going to go to something that you can rely on. That's not going to be all diversified up with a whole bunch of crap. So you're going to turn to manga and anime. You know, I got a bunch of anime and manga books that I read, you know, and art books and stuff that I look at and I read, and I enjoy it because the stories are original. They're not copies. There's no political message behind none of this stuff. And it's just good, wholesome fun. You know, I originally read comic books because of fun.
Yeah. Oh, I did too. And I still do, but I just had to buy the older ones to do that now.
Right. So
but where I was going with that.
Go ahead, finish.
Where I was going with that whole story, One Gun, was, do you see, are we at a place, or are we heading to a place where anime is going to do to Western animation what manga has done to the Western comic book?
Well, the Western comic book isn't dead yet. All right.
Yeah.
There is a place for a Western comic book, and the independents, the Indiegogoers, the Kickstarters, and stuff like that will keep American comic book and American comic book format intact.
Oh yeah, we're
and-
still alive. We're just
yeah, it's still alive. But as far as the big comic book companies, they're gonna be dinosaurs. And they're gonna die out. They're gonna be getting produced by Scholastic or something like that, so they can make a buck off of what they're doing. But I think, as far as American cartoons and what you conceive of as American media and comic books and cartoon stuff like that, the foreigners are going to come in and just basically take over. There's not going to be a company that's going to actually be producing any type of American made stuff unless it's something from Disney or Warner Brothers or something like that. Even they outsource their stuff. I think it was a big thing back at like 2009, 2010, where this article, I forgot where it was talking about how India is doing a lot of the animation for Disney. I'm like, what? India? It's like, yeah, India.
Yeah.
So it's I
what
think
gets me is the lazy look that I see with American animation, 2D animation. I'm talking about here, and not the indie stuff. The Teen Titans Go, the Thundercats Roar. My kid was watching. They did that Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans thing on Cartoon Network a while back. My kid, he likes Teen Titans Go, so we were watching that, and they put up an advertisement during it for stay tuned after Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans for a special premiere of new series Thundercats Roar. And he's like, can I stay up and watch that afterwards? I'm like, yeah, but let me show you something. And it was commercial. And I pulled up my phone and I pulled up an original Thundercats episode on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is what it used to be.
Yeah,
and he looked at that and he looked up at the commercial and he was like 12 years old at the time. He said, that sucks. I don't want to watch that.
Of course, it's that we've dumbed down we've dumbed down the essence of true storytelling, art, all that stuff, and in a lot of things. I had friends say, hey man, have you seen Steven's Universe or something like that? It's like I tried to watch it, I couldn't take it.
I couldn't either. I know it's got a huge following. I'm like,
Yes.
I can't watch this.
I know Little Fry's about to cry. Like, those are my shows.
No, my show was 2010.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Steven Universe or the Cal Art design, but the problem is that it's cheap. It's cheap to make those cartoons over here, and we're a capitalistic society. So if it's cheap and it makes a buck, we're gonna go cheap. There is no taking risks. They took the same thing with movies. That's why you see so many reboots and stuff like that, because no one wants to take risks. There wouldn't be a Predator if nobody didn't take a risk to make it back in the 80s.
That's right.
See, there wouldn't be Empire Strikes Back if somebody didn't take a risk to make the Empire Strikes Back. So the proven strategy is not to remake these things, but to take the risk to make new things
and try to make it better, not cheaper.
Better.
Better. And speaking of better, we've already got people in the chat who are asking, are we watching Black Widow? As we're looking at the Archive of Infinity here. So, I'd say you've done a good job.
I guess I have.
So you've got the kick. I almost said the K word. You've got the Indiegogo up for this. This is in pre-launch state, and the link to that, the link to that is right below this video. If anybody ever wants to click out there and just throw their email address on it for updates. What are we're used to talking about comic book crowdfunding here, so we talk about tiers and what you're going to get. Obviously, what people are going to get when this is done is
they got to get
the film, but we don't know in what form. We don't know what else is being offered as an inducement for people to pledge to the tiers. So what have you got in mind when you're building this up? And I know that's what Sean's job is here. He's
Sean's job
is together with
you. Tough on me, make sure I do the work, and I don't try to escape to Cuba to finish it. So so what we got in line for the tiers is we have t-shirts. I was talking to Sean about doing some specialty trading cards for the pre-launch. We got some ideas for that. We're talking about coffee mugs. We're talking about stickers. We're talking about his dad doing some custom artwork and stuff. And I got a bunch of people lined up to do a sketchbook with me. So we got a lot of stuff for the tiers, you know. And
You skipped the obvious one. I'm kind of surprised.
What I skipped?
Well, I mean, every one of these characters is a 3D wireframe,
Right.
which means that you can send it to a guy who has a 3D printer.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And the thing about that is,
and I know a guy.
I have to find, I have to find somebody who can print these at a good, reasonable cost. You know,
I know a guy who does them pretty much for cost for people who do crowd funds.
Oh well, shoot. Just tell your guy to talk to my guy, and we can talk.
There you go.
Guys can get together and make something happen. You know, yeah. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine about actually printing her up. And the thing about it is, you have to make it a certain way. And I tried like 6 times. I was like, okay, man, I'll do it some other time. This is like a couple years back. But I think, hey, maybe that guy can do it for me. I do not know how to make something ready for printing. You know, I can make I can do everything else when it comes to 3D, but when it comes out from the 3D world into the real world, you got me. You know,
but put her in the pose and say, you know, lock the wireframe in place and send it.
All right, I give him a mesh. I give him an OBJ file and tell him to get busy. So see what happens. And if it works, you know, that would be one of our tiers right there. You know, that would be one of our cool tiers. You know, and I don't know how Little Fry gonna make it happen, but make it happen, Little Fry.
and you know the other thing people like, One Gun, and this goes back to talking about anime and manga.
Yeah,
waifu pillows. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Well, it's funny. I made this character years ago, and this is before all the started, you know. And the thing about it is, like, the first female had told me, "Say that's my character." I said, "Yeah, that's your character." He's like, "You're gonna have to make this bigger, make her thicker." I was like, "Wait a second. I mean, I'm gonna get chewed out, you know." And he's like, "Nah, this is what I want." I said, "Okay, fine." So check this out, man. Let me get this other video. I want to show you another video.
All right.
You're gonna show you. I'm gonna show you.
Sean's laughing. He knows what's coming, I think.
So before I go, I got to show you me and Little Fry's project, Project Miko. Little Fry, tell about Project Miko while I look for this video.
Yeah, Project Miko is the project we was working on before he did start on my youth model. That's where he linked up, wanted me to help him put a story together for it, and that's where he gave me a bunch of random clips, and it was like, put a story together out of all this, and I was like, okay, what do you want to see? What do you want out of the world as a whole? And then that's where you just start putting together the basis for it.
Yeah. That's so it was kind of funny, you know. I'm gonna play this in a minute because this fits in with everything else. It's kind of funny because I was working on Archive Infinity. And I was like, I need a break from this because I was working on it for months straight. I mean, I think like 6 months straight working on like a bunch of scenes and getting a whole bunch of animation together, just blocking out stuff. And I was like, I'm tired of looking at these women's butt cheeks. I want to do something different. So I had just cleared my screen out and started creating new characters and stuff. And I started with this vampire girl who's being protected by this guy who has a curse on his eye. And you know, and it starts off like the girl gets kidnapped, and they get the guy with the curse to come in and you know, rescue the girl and stuff. And I was like, and then I got stuck. I was like, man, I mean, how's this gonna fit together, you know? So I called up Little Fry. I said, hey, your dad said you can write pretty good these days, man. You want to do something for this? And he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I've been wanting it. I said, okay. So he goes out. You know, I don't hear from him for 24 hours, and then next thing my whole box is just filled with everything. He's got character bios, drawings, sketch. He did drawings for this too. Cool. You know, so I said, okay, this be our project, man. You know, but right here, like I was saying, like, okay, so the female's playing this character, right? I made the character, And the character, she had smaller chest. She wasn't as thick as she is right now. She had smaller butt. And then when she saw the character, she was like, "What's that?" I was like, "That's your character. I based her off your body. What you look like. She was like, you're gonna do this, that. Do this."
I don't want to look real. I want to look super.
Yeah, I'm like, I say, listen, I'm trying to make this so I won't, people won't be coming at me saying, "Oh yeah, sexist, la 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 la." And she ain't the only one. There's a whole bunch of other girls. So when I do one girl, they come in telling, "I want this, and then other girls see what I did for the other girl. And it's like, "Oh no, you ain't gonna get away with it. You gonna do?" I'm just like, "Okay, fine. And if I get some hell for this, I'm gonna tell them y'all did it." So here's a scene. Now all the characters in this scene are people that I based the characters off of. So this is actually the beginning of the movie that I animated over, I think, about a summer and a half ago or something like that. But there is no voices to it. There are no voices to it. Nothing like that. It's basically done. I said to go back and add the voices and stuff. But yeah, that's the other girl right there who said, "No, I want my body too." So so I got a bunch of big-breasted women.
Yes, that will sell a movie.
Yeah. So but it gives I mean, you see her, it just gives her it just gives it a unique look in my opinion. But I know how people are like, "Ah, you're just doing it because you're a sexist man."
So here's the animation physics question that has to come into. I have to ask this now because I have to know things. When you make a wireframe and you move that wireframe, you move the arm up, the arm goes up. You move the arm down, the arm goes down.
Mm-hmm.
You can run and the thing looks like it's running, but sometimes it looks like a Barbie doll that's running. It's made out of plastic and can be a smooth.
I know what you're talking about. You talk about
the jiggle effect.
Talk about spring physics and
yeah.
And
I'm talking about. Let's be clear. I'm talking about boob bounce.
Yeah, boobtronics. Yeah. I mean, I always add that. That's like one of the last things I add to my films. As I go to finish the film, the last thing is to make sure that all the physics works on the girls. I mean,
so is that like something that you actually have to drag the pixels up, or do you just say, okay, for this area here, these properties change?
It depends on what program you're in. Like, if I'm in different programs, there's different ways to do it. This program I clone, all I have to do is assign the bones. Like for the boobs, there are like bones that go all the way to the female's nipple. And what you would do is you would just apply spring bone dynamics. And what it would do is, wherever that bone or the physics are on that bone, it will move, and the breast will move according to the physics of how the bone would move according to the physics of the movement of the character. And as long as the weight mapping holds up or whatever, or how you adjust the weight mapping, it's going to look 100% like, oh damn, look, things are moving. Them things got a mind their own.
That is the driest, most scientific, most boring way to discuss boob bounce that I think mankind has ever invented.
Sorry, like I said, learn 3D. I'm telling Friday, you got to learn these things. People like, I'm going to do a anime with my girls that have big boobs and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, you make sure you know about the collisions and soft cloth and spring bones and dynamic bones. Make sure you know all that stuff. And you have perfect boobs every time.
I write a character for a book series called The Destroyer. It's Remo Williams, and early on, Master Chun taught him the 37 steps to bringing a woman to ultimate ecstasy. And he's like, but this is a very powerful tool. Don't, this is not for fun. This is, for being an assassin and all that stuff. You have to know these things. He's like, well, I'm going out. And then he comes back. He's all angry. He's like, you've ruined sex. And he's like, there's no spontaneity to it anymore. It's like, it's paint by numbers now, and I'm done. And it's like,
I remember that. I got that on a book on tape like years ago. When I used to have another life, like driving a truck, and we're going from state to state. I used to pop in a Remo Williams video. Yeah. Destroyer was one of my favorite. Destroyer was pretty much my favorite Remo Williams. He called. I think is that the one where he called it's called a dragoon, but he called the old man called it a dragon. It was a vehicle. It was good stuff, but. Here is the Project Miko stuff that I was working with Little Fry on. So this is Little Fry right here. Me collaborating with Little Fry. There's no sound to it or nothing, but you don't really need anybody talking to understand what the hell's going on here.
And you know, if you've done it right, you shouldn't.
Yeah. It's tell you right there. It's like, you know, my dad is. Everybody says it reminds us of a Kill Bill.
She's locked up in that paper doorway.
Yeah. That's the vampire princess, and these are the stupid robbers that are the stupid kidnappers. And he's like, listen, man, this is gonna work out, man. It's okay, just listen to me. You know, we got the big man, he's gonna back us up, blah 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 blah. He's like, yeah, I don't know about this, man. And guess who calls? It's a phone call, and yeah, so Little Fry, he's writing the script to this and everything. And I just did this off a whim. So this is the big guy right here. I just did this off a whim, man. I mean, I wasn't trying to do nothing. I just want to just do something new for my audience and everything. And one thing turned to another, and Little Fry wrote he did the whole world. I mean, the whole world, everything, man. You should tell them about the world, man, that you made. It's amazing.
World of vampires, monsters, ninjas, pretty much a collection of everything we could offer to just the universe as whole. So like Alvin came up with a really cool idea and was like, we're just gonna throw that in there just for fun, just to add to it. Mm-hmm. And I just structured all that into one solid story for it. And eventually, like after we finish with Archive and Youth Mob, well, we're gonna tackle this one next.
I love those masks.
Yeah, I made those in the blender. Yeah, there you go, folks. Learn how to learn how to use Blender. It's free, and I think I made those masks in like a few hours. A few hours each other. Here's another clip from the Archive of Infinity.
When this is done, what are your backers going to get? Are they going to get a DVD? Are they going to get a link?
They're going to get a DVD download. You know, depending on what they want. And they will actually get like the stuff we're talking about, the stuff I'm showing now, and they also will get previews of upcoming stuff. So stuff I haven't shown nobody or have not gave anybody, they will get that stuff, you know. So they get stuff nobody's seen. They get back. They actually got a commentary coming up with one of the guys who worked on it with me. They get all that stuff. And the tiers are going to be great. You know, when we launch them, I'm going to do a tier review, review, probably next week or something like that. Or I can come back and do it on your show.
Yeah, you're going to have to be launched by then, right?
Yeah,
you can launch this thing.
I will definitely be launched by then. And I'm just going to tell everybody you're going to get posters. We're going to have posters, books, T-shirts.
You get everything ready. You come back. We'll walk everybody through the tiers. Right. Now, my biggest question is going to be this. Now you've got an hour of this done right now, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about 90 minutes. And you've been working on it since 2017.
Yeah.
So what are you looking at as far as a delivery date goes? Because if I extrapolate that out, I'm like, well, we get it funded in 60 days, but it's still another 2 years.
No, it shouldn't. Hopefully, it won't be up 2 years. Maybe we're looking at another 6 to 7 months. You know, that's what I'm looking at to hopefully have this done. You know, and don't forget also have other. I got Little Fry's stuff to get done, and wherever the heck Project Miko. Now remember,
I know that. I get that, but you're gonna have backers now. They don't get that.
So there you go with the boob physics right there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
I put the boob physics on her.
You got bounce and separation.
Yeah, bounce, separation, and swing. And so she's gonna ride off into the Western name. And like I said, a lot of it looks like this. Like it's like this is you can see the camera and the helpers and stuff like that. But like I said, that scene is done. Just got to put the voices in it and finish that off, and I'm done. You know, but it's a lot more stuff that needs to be done. And I work on it every day. You know, sometimes I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and end my day at around about 7 or 10. You know, but it's work. It's work that won't be done by nobody else but me. And if it's not done, well, then I can't deliver. If I can't deliver, it's gonna be a whole bunch of people cursing me out.
Oh yeah.
So the whole
They
thing
want
about
their
it,
money back.
yeah, I want the money back, and I'd be like, oh, I spent it on rent. Hey, I wouldn't do that. All right, I will actually give y'all stuff, but
No.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be like one of those. This is another scene from Project Miko. This is just another scene that I made. And this was like the introductory scene for what we name this guy? Tobias.
Yeah, Tobias. That was his name.
Yeah, Tobias. He got this thing on his eye.
Yeah, he the main character.
Yeah, one of the main characters. That smiles, and then it's a Japanese dude sitting behind him and everything. But it's interesting. It's interesting because I try to put it, it's like if you put your mind to it, you can create and do anything.
Oh yeah.
If you limit your stuff to what other people say and what other people think about you, and you're never gonna get nothing done. You have to move forward and not backwards, and that's something that I learned, and something that Little Fry reminds me of. I'm older than him, and he has to remind me that you got to keep moving forward. And his dad's the same way. He's like, man, forget what they're saying. Just move forward. So yeah, man. First of all, I want to thank you for letting me come on.
We're glad to have you, man. Thank you for bringing this and giving us something different to talk about.
Right.
When are you going to pull the trigger on this and launch this thing?
I'm going to talk to Little Fry. I'm talking Little Fry because I really want to pull the trigger like soon.
Yeah.
You want to do it at the right time. You don't want to. You don't want to go off half cocked. You don't want to.
Breakfast. Lunch. I said lunch.
I was like, what happened? That was funny. Launch. We're gonna launch this, man. We're definitely gonna launch this, but I want to make sure everybody get their stuff. I want to make sure everything is done correctly. Everybody's happy. The thing is to make everybody's happy, because if it's not for the people who come to the campaign and to support us, this won't be able to get done. And if one for people like Mr. Blast here, people wouldn't know about us. Now, thank you, man. I really do thank you a lot.
That's what we're here for. Thank you for bringing the Archive of Infinity on. Sean, thanks for making the introduction here with One Gun. And, maybe we'll have you guys also back on even further down the road for Project Miko when it's time to start making that into a project.
That's Little Fry. That's Little Fry's deal, man. He took that away and became producer. So, he'll be back on here trying to promote.
Very cool. All right. Folks in the chat, if you've been watching this and you want to know when this thing launches, we have the link right below the video screen there. Just click on there, throw in your email address, tell Indiegogo that yes, you're allowed to do that, and then go to your email and tell Indiegogo that you really did click it, because they're checking it on both ends. Hit the share on the video. I'm not going to ask you to hit the like. If you didn't like what we did, you didn't like what we did. So I can't control that. But if you share it, then you're going to show all your other friends on your social media more of what these guys are doing. It's all about showing people what my guests are doing, because maybe they will like it and then they'll want to back it. And it's all about the guests. It's all about getting creators in front of more eyeballs here. That's what we do. So if you do that, I really appreciate it. And as always, we're glad you were here. We don't have a show without you, and we just hope you had a blast.